So NAD is considered one of our premier longevity molecules, right?
Yep.
And that's why it's part of our longevity wheel.
Yep.
So what does it do for us?
Everything.
Okay.
So how does it do everything?
Yep.
There's a couple of processes, and these are going on in every cell, every tissue. So brain, central nervous system, cardiovascular, liver. It's got a lot of activity in the liver, the kidneys, just everywhere. And these, all these processes involve a lot of mitochondrial activity, so that's energy generation, and that's its oxidative nature, is burning up carbon substrates, bringing the electrons into the electron transport chain and creating ATP. But then it has signaling aspects of that too. So mitochondria is a big thing. Redox. So some things it's oxidizing, some things it's reducing. And so all this electron exchange that's going on, and it actually has two faces, an oxidized and a reduced face. Circadian rhythms. It controls the clock genes. Part of its sirtuin activity is bringing you up in the morning and putting you down at night, both of which fall apart as you get older. I can't wake up and I can't stay up and I can't sleep either. You know, it's really a bummer.
Right.
And DNA repair. So this is really crucial. So every time like radiation comes and breaks a DNA strand or mutates something, NAD comes in to repair that.
Okay.
Inflammation. It's making sure that inflammatory processes are well controlled, not just shut down, but controlled. Cell division. And then one of the big ones in terms of information flow and informatics in the cell is the epigenetics. So you have a million different genes that you can be manifesting, but you can't manifest everything at once. So what's your best hand to play? You know, you're playing a poker hand. What's your best hand?
Yeah.
What are we going to keep on and what are we going to keep off according to our needs and our resources?
And I know that NAD starts to go down as we age.
Yep.
And so what does that look like in our bodies?
So that decline mostly revolves around cardiometabolic strength. Your metabolism is going down, your energy is going down, you're not burning your fats anymore, you're storing them. So you're growing adiposity around the waist, which is then growing inflammatory cytokines. Inflammaging, they call it, NF-kappa beta, always burning. You're putting adiposity into the liver. You're starting to lose visual acuity, brain acuity. It's just the whole thing gets sludgy instead of clean burning.
So we need our mitochondria to be working, right? For
Yes,
that,
we do.
need some energy.
And what you're intuiting there is that, well, this is really a mitochondrially driven thing. And so not only does NAD oxidize the carbon substrates and then drive the electron transport chain to make ATP, NAD gets the mitochondria and the nucleus on the same page. Because some of the genes for the electron transport chain or oxidative phosphorylation come from the nucleus, and some come from the mitochondrial DNA. And when you're young and your NAD levels are high, they're making the same amounts. They're making what are called stoichiometric equivalents. But as you get old, the nucleus is putting its out, and the mitochondria is not putting enough out, and you don't have matched up electron transport chains. And then you don't make enough ATP, but you also make a whole lot of free radical damage. And then on the flip side of the oxidation is the reduction side. So I said NAD has an oxidation side. That's NAD plus taking electrons away. But then NAD, some of that pool partitions into NADPH, where it's highly reduced, and it's donating reducing equivalents, electrons and hydrogens, called a hydride, onto glutathione when glutathione's oxidized, or onto ascorbate, vitamin C, when it's oxidized. So it's driving antioxidant processes with that, which are also then driving detoxification processes.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yes. So as NAD goes down,
Right.
not only can you not oxidize the carbon, you also can't detoxify and control free radicals. So you're losing on both fronts there.
All right. So really we need NAD to properly detoxify.
Yes, we do.
Okay. And so how do we replete ourselves with NAD?
Right. So we want the precursors to NAD. The most basic one is niacin or nicotinic acid. Nicotinamide also does that. When you're young, that all works fine.
You get that through foods and things like that.
And you can even make it from tryptophan when you don't have those things. But as you get older, your ability to take those substrates into NAD gets weaker. So you have to get a higher level one. Nicotinamide mononucleotide is what we use, and you can also use nicotinamide riboside.
Okay.
But we want to, like everything else in our Quicksilver life, increase the bioavailability of that.
Yep.
So we use a liposomal nicotinamide mononucleotide.
Lovely. And do we need to increase methylation?
Yes. So this is the problem, and this is where people miss out when they're just taking nicotinamide riboside, is that NAD processes and methylation processes are intimately linked. If you have too much, because what's happening is you're turning over NAD into nicotinamide, and if that builds up, it actually blocks the sirtuins you were trying to activate with the NAD. And then the excess you pee away as methylnicotinamide. And that methyl group comes from SAMe. And SAMe is a major methyl donor. And so if you're driving NAD processes too much, you'll suck down your methylation levels. You'll bring down SAMe, and then you're going to have destabilization of your mast cells, and you'll tend to go into neuroinflammation and have a lot of histamine problems and have a lot of depression, all kinds of stuff like that.
Okay.
So you need enough methylation to keep that kind of stable. But if you have too much methylation, you'll burn off all your NAD.
Okay.
So you need to balance the two. So you'll either use our NAD Gold with our methyl charge or NAD Platinum, which has those two balanced already.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Shade.
Thank you, Mindy.